James plays game.
That's me!
Hey everybody, welcome back to James Plays Uru Complete Chronicles. We've now, I think, pretty much finished off 3 of these books. Got 3 of the pillars. We just have this age to revisit. Find the journey cloths, find the journey door, find the pillar, and then win the base game, maybe? So, as I said before, last time in my first checking out of this age, I did not find anything at all. So, our second pass, we're going to try to be more thorough and hopefully open up a whole bunch of stuff for us to explore as we've been doing in the previous ages. Okay, right off the bat, I'm seeing that, which I somehow missed last time, probably because it really doesn't look like anything, unless you've spent a lot of time with journey cloths. And now you know that if you see a square shadow, that's very clearly a journey cloth. How does one reach that? I don't know why all of these things are next to these. Ah. And building up pressure? Or am I just diverting that pressure elsewhere? That release. If these were like little springboards or something like that, that could send me where I want to be. So yeah, this is something that I've learned from the other ages, these foot releases, that I just had not really been aware of. You know, you gotta get real close, you gotta know that that's a thing, and get in real close to use them. Very easy to overlook, in my opinion, until you've had more experience with the game and seeing those elsewhere. This does not appear to be a jump that I could actually make. Almost, but with that angle and getting bumped by that edge there, it doesn't... I'll give this like 17 more tries. On this side, there's no clearance to that edge. See, I'm getting bumped by this. Can I climb you, Spiky Vine? No, I cannot. Maybe it really is, you know, I block these off, and the venting has to come out somewhere else, and it just builds up so much that it actually can launch me. Or it has something to do with this. You know, steam power or whatever. But I kind of like the idea of utilizing these in different ways where ultimately one has such a strong pressure release that it will launch me. Oh! Okay. That tree that I'm barking up might not be so wrong after all. Didn't have to do that. I just like the style points. Okay, we can go down there, but I just want to go across this first. There's this down here. That may be a one-way trip, though. Okay. I may be able to jump here. I can't remember if I did that before or not, you know? Let's close these off. Let's ignore the fact that there's all these, you know, other things that just exists that the stuff would probably logically be utilizing. And overshot. Hopefully those all still remain capped. There shouldn't be a reason why they wouldn't. Okay. While I'm here, let me check if this has enough pressure now. Before I... Oh! Okay. So, can I just run off? There we go. I did see that there. Curious about something before we cap it. Does not let me have any nice camera control so I can see just how high I'm getting, but I can tell it's not enough to do anything with it. So. Alright, we made that. I think I'm seeing... Yeah, we are definitely... Almost positively. Let's not say definitely. Like... Kinda like 80% sure that we are utilizing these to get around to different parts of the map. Now, I don't think there's any other ones that I can locate to cap off. I can kind of hear them. You know? I do want to just kind of... Here. There we go. Okay, now I think I can just do a regular walk-off. Maybe maybe a run better. Yeah, okay. Okay, so we got a journey cloth. We were starting to figure out this age, what its deal is, and I think that's cool. Coming into this the first time around and just not having enough knowledge to really understand what I was looking at, and not, you know, you looking at this thing, you're not necessarily gonna know that this is something to interact with, so you don't think to put your cursor over it. It just looks like a thing. This looks like a thing. Everything looks like a thing. You know what I mean? I think I'm not trying to give myself an out for being stupid. I think it is kind of like a nice natural progression of what you learn from exploring and doing things in other ages where those foot panels are much more clear. And, you know, I just think that's cool. I do think it's a little weird that we are building up so much pressure that we are able to launch ourselves up that high and land on there, and we're just this guy. Jerry Grabowski. I mean, do you want to be realistic or don't you? Mist series, huh? Do you want to be a fantasy world where anything can happen, or do you want to be people living in New Mexico that are talking to the Rand brothers about this video game that they're making? I just... Oh, jeez. They all popped. I don't like that you did that. I kind of get it, but I also don't like it, because now I gotta go around and do all of these again. So, 1, 2, and 3, and then 4, 5, and 6. I'm not forgetting any, am I? We're now going to see what each one is going to do for me. I think this is going to be the important one, because we have this little rock barrier, and it's very clear that we can kind of get over it and further in that direction. But there may be something else somewheres. I think I'll do this one first, because that's annoying. And then I can close that off and never have to worry about that again. So this one we can shut off. We did safely run off of this last time, right? I'm nervous now. Okay. It's pretty high, but it doesn't seem to be doing us any favors. Okay. So, yeah, we'll close them all off. And it'll spring back up. Then we'll do it again. Okay. Over here. For all I know, that those were the two things. One to get the journey cloth and one to get over. But I just want to be thorough. As I've said before, we've seen what happens when I give up too early, we'll say. When I think that, oh, I guess it is like this, and then it turns out, no, it's like something else. Even though maybe I might have thought it was something else, and I just doubted myself. So, close you. Come down here. Close you. And see what you do for me. So far, nothing. There we go. Okay, nope. So we've got the one down there, we've got these two here. And that's also nothing. Okay. So, how do I want to do this? Open this one back up for now. We're going to have to come back around. Uncap this one. Okay. So now we can try this. And that did nothing for me. And now I'm trapped here forever. Let me get off. So there we go. I'm glad I did that, even though it turned out, you know, it was just those two to worry about. The one for the journey cloth and presumably this one. Yeah, okay. But we would not have been sure otherwise. So I'm glad that we did that. Hey. Hello. Hello, Bones. Now, what I would like is a journey cloth close by. Just so I don't have to hop over again. And I'm not seeing it any... Not yet, at least. Okay. If I were gonna hide a journey cloth, it would be on the side of one of these things. If I were to. Okay. There's a book. I want a book. I want a journey cloth. Then I'll touch your stupid book. I think the water would be safe, but let's not chance it just yet. And especially, let's not go over the edge there. Whoa. Why is this rock giving off light? This is like pitch black for me. Just trying to make sure that there isn't a journey cloth on it. Okay. Little cute fishy's not going to kill me, right? Nothing behind that. Nothing on here. Ah, hello. Not a journey cloth, it's a tablet. Okay, another small gripe is that starting area, there was the two journey cloths pretty much, you know, a couple steps away from each other. I would put one here. We got things here. We got a book here. We got a tablet there. But you're telling me no journey cloth over on this side, so I don't have to do the leapy business again. Alright. I could just be not seeing it somewhere. It will let me go off this. So... Cool. Cool, cool, cool. Good thing we can use our last touch journey cloth to make so much forward progress in our, you know, in this age here. How far we've gone. Oh, okay. Thought I might be able to clear under that. I was wrong. Okay. We'll go with the tablet first. Because these usually don't lead anywhere great. So I'd rather just kind of confirm that. Oh. Oh. Oh my. This is not the dead-end balcony I was expecting. Okay, big lettering. I'm going to read this one out loud. Okay? King Rineref? Sam Rules? This is Sam's book, I guess. About King Rineref. Rineref was born in 207 BE, before Earth, on Garterne? This is already a bad idea. I hate reading words I don't understand. Made up words. Okay. We're just going to commit. Rineref was born in 207 BE on Garterne. He was accepted into the Guild of Writers at the age of 5, a standard age, and as the years passed, quickly became one of the finest writers that the Rhone had ever seen. Certain records go as far as stating that Rineref was unsurpassed in skill by any other writer of the day. Note there's an asterisk here. By the time he was 90, Rineref had achieved the rank of Guildmaster and was well on his way to become the Grand Master. However, due to personal convictions, he never achieved that rank. Rineref had long been a challenger of the views of the Guild of Writers, as well as the king himself. Rineref was apparently very concerned with the society's views pertaining to the purpose of the writing and the challenge of acting responsibly with the great gift given to us by the Yavo. Asterisk. Around 73 BE, okay, was just trying to do some math there. Around 73 BE, Rineref was asked by the Grand Master to write a descriptive book to a questionable age, at least in the eyes of Rineref. He perceived the age being used to house an uncivilized race that could be used for the purposes of the Rhone. Thus, Rineref refused to carry out the command from his Grand Master, and after much debating, was apparently dismissed from the Guild of Writers. Some records do point to Rineref willfully excusing himself from the guild, although regardless of how he left, much of the society found the dismissal unfair, and some even went so far as to call it detrimental to society. Asterisk. Around 59 BE, the fact that Garterne would not be able to serve the Rhone as a home for much longer, asterisk, was confirmed. Oh. The fact that Garterne would not be able to serve the Rhone as a home for much longer was confirmed, and the information made public. Rineref had long known of the state of Garterne, and from the time of his dismissal, had apparently been working on an age that he felt would be a good place to live for those who wished to follow him. According to various journals, Rineref managed to attract a few thousand Rhone and convince them to follow him in the ways that he felt important and to the age that he had written. The king allowed Rineref to split away from the Rhone, along with a few other smaller groups, while the majority of Rhone left Garterne to a new home world called Terrani. Rinaref took his group to Earth, where he established the Dani, meaning new beginning. So Rinaref wrote the Age of Earth, is how I'm understanding this. Rinaref was a strong leader, immediately establishing himself as king and reigning for 120 years until his death. Obviously, those who followed Rinaref to Dani already respected him enough to separate themselves from their family and friends, and thus records point to very few debates or disagreements within the society under the reign of Rinaref. So, Earth, Dani, the age of Dani or the place of Dani is on Earth. Did he write Earth, or did he write the age of Dani within an Earth that already existed? That I'm not too clear on. As had always been the case with the Rhone, a group of surveyors was sent to Dani before the group officially moved there to establish the Great Zero, asterisk, this has been mentioned in other books before, and the line emanating from it. A monument was built on the Great Zero in the year 0 DE. Unlike previous occasions, Rinaref established the line of the Great Zero as set apart for holy buildings. Without authorization by the reigning king, construction was forbidden. Though it's never stated directly, records strongly imply that it was Rinaref who chose where the city would be established. He seemed to base his decision on two factors, which probably made the decision an easy one. First was the line of the Great Zero. It seemed an obvious spot to base the city, with the most important religious structures being directly on the line and the rest of the city surrounding its center. The second factor was a group of waterfalls that flowed from the ceiling of the cavern to an area adjacent to the line of the Great Zero. The fresh flowing water was perfect for drinking. A new writers' guild, with fairly different rules than the one that had existed on Garderne, was constructed almost immediately, 8 DE, under the direction of Rinaref. By the year 100 DE, Rinaref had directed the recreation of the 18 major guilds, asterisk. The guilds were dedicated to Yavo on the Day of the Circle, a celebration not only of the completion of the major guilds, but a celebration of new guilds which Rinaref believed were healthier than those that existed in Garderne. Guilds that have been established to please Yavo and not themselves, Rinaref said, asterisk. Certain records point to the guilds of Garderne becoming extremely competitive with one another and focusing more upon having the best facility than carrying out their duty to Yavo and the people. In an effort to curb that kind of competition, Rinaref implemented a list of restrictions upon guild construction. The restrictions included guidelines pertaining to placement, facing the Great Zero, size, shape, and minor visual guidelines. Though one of Rinaref's top priorities was construction of a temple, there were disagreements as to specifics, causing numerous delays in the finalization of construction plans. Eventually, construction was started in 48 DE, and the temple was completed in 63 DE. Known as the Regeltorum, the temple to Yavo was meant as a place of worship as well as a reminder of the prophesied great king who would come to them soon, asterisk. Talking about a prophecy of a great king, and there'd been mentions of Great Zero before. There was the Watcher and the Maker and things like that That might be what this is referring to. Rhinaref also made it a priority to install massive fans that would supply the cavern with fresh air. Natural openings existed, but it was quickly discovered that they did not supply ample circulation for the cavern. As a result, massive shafts and fans were built and installed over a 30-year period between 84 and 114 DE. Should be noted that numerous records point to a small group of Dunni disappearing upon completion of the fans. It is most often assumed that they remained on the surface of Earth to live. Throughout his reign, records point to multiple occasions on which Rhinaref refused to build a palace for himself. Instead, he lived in a fairly basic home similar in fashion to most of his fellow citizens, and made it especially clear that until Yavo had a new home, he could not allow himself one. Although, even after the temple was completed, Rhinaref refused to build a palace, always focusing more on the religious and government sites. Rhinaref's own philosophy centered on the fact that it was much easier to focus on Yavo and his wishes when circumstances were difficult and struggles more abundant. It was strongly believed that Rhinaref's refusal to build a palace was an expression of that philosophy. In 1920 DE, Rhinaref died of apparent heart complications. He was 327 years old. Though he had married, he left no children. As a result, he chose one of his apprentices, named Eilish, to succeed him. All the asterisks now. Taken from the memoirs of Eilish, from the Oath of the New Guild of Writers written by Rhinaref, taken from the journals of Grandmaster Najun of the Guild of Legislators. Gardernay's sun was dying and would eventually cause a rapid decrease in temperature, making it an inhabitable age. The Great Zero itself was usually based on a prominent natural landmark within an age. From the Great Zero, a line was drawn, usually toward magnetic north, to aid in navigation, construction, etc. So now we know what the Great Zero is. It's a starting point. And then a line usually drawn north, magnetic north. Okay. It should be noted that the 18 major guilds of Dunni were not necessarily the same as the 18 that had existed on Gardernay. In fact, they were probably much different. Though there is no information that details the major guilds of Gardernay, we do know that the guilds were meant to be flexible and serve the people in the needs of their time. Taken from a transcript of Rhinaref's speech on the first day of the Circle. The prophetical work of the Regeltivor of Urpa, a book Rhinaref believed strongly in, dealt with numerous prophecies of a great king who would be sent by Yavo to guide the people. So that seems to be more lore than any real useful information. I'm scared these might be two more. Oh my god, this is... Okay, I'll read that one. And I'll read this one. Any other books I find, maybe I'll go back to just taking my stand. Let's look through here. See if it's working. Working. I can look around a little bit. See things. Very important things. Let me take a drink of water. King Demath took the throne in 4692 DE at the age of 154. Though the public was generally not happy with the reign of G, it appears as though they were pleased with his choice of Demath to succeed him. Demath had joined the Guild of Maintainers at the age of 5, as most did, and risen to the level of Guild Master by the time he was chosen as king. The selection was a surprise to much of the public, and apparently even to Demath himself. It was not a post he had especially desired to have. Almost immediately, Demath ordered a ban on all unnecessary links to be enforced by the Maintainers, while the Council carried out emergency meetings trying to decide their stance on the outsiders. Now, we've heard about the Maintainers primarily, maybe even exclusively before this, in the Garrison Age, that fortress. In these meetings, the council concluded that relations with the outsiders would continue, but with much stricter restrictions and guidelines. The list was long that Demath signed into law, and included the restriction of any outsiders operating Dunny machinery or linking books. Perhaps more importantly, the council and king sent a clear message to all of the factions who were against outsider involvement with Dunny. Their ideas would not be tolerated if they led to any infraction of the rules previously established by Lashmanesh, which were to become strictly enforced. And though it was not stated publicly, the Relayama, meaning the unseen, was apparently ordered to double its membership and find any and all who were carrying out illegal activities with the outsiders. As well, Demath denounced the words of the Watcher as pure rubbish and nothing more than a desperately lonely man seeking attention. You know, maybe you don't insult lonely men seeking attention. Maybe validate them. Give them some attention. Give them some love. You know? Like, comment, and subscribe to the lonely man seeking attention. He tries so hard to be a good person and make good videos. In 4721 DE, Demath pushed an amendment that forced the major guilds to accept a percentage of students who passed all entrance exams but could not afford these steep prices. It was the first such action in the history of Dunny, and one that many seem to question, especially the guilds themselves. However, Demath was able to convince them it was a necessity for the society, and one to which they cautiously agreed. In 4724 DE, records point to over 10 separate groups being convicted of the Lashmanesh laws, as they had come to be called. Most agreed that the Relayama played a large role in the convictions, although there are no official records of their involvement. Well, they were the unseen for a reason, right? Regardless, each of the convicted was sentenced to solitary confinement on prison ages. The convictions must have carried a powerful impact on the society, as the public still knew very little of the Relayama, if anything at all, and thus had no idea how so many convictions were occurring. As one writer said, there were stories of dark shadows and mysterious creatures. For those carrying out such activities, it was said that the eyes of Demath saw everything, while his arms took anyone he wanted. The crime rate, especially pertaining to the Lashmanesh laws, steadily lowered until 4752, when there were only 3 recorded convictions. In 4784 DE, an assassination attempt was carried out against Demath, resulting in the death of 2 members of the Relayama, who saved Damath's life in the process. The perpetrators were found, and 2 years later, Damath ordered their execution. It was the first execution of its kind and met with little resistance from the public or council. The two men were apparently linked into a death age, permanently ending their lives. Though most agreed with the execution, those who were against outsider involvement to begin with now felt even stronger in their case. Now, they argued, Dunny is killing itself for the sake of the outsiders. In 4826, Damath was rewarded for his efforts pertaining to the acceptance policies of the major guilds. The first of the Guild of Stone Masons' non-paying members headed the effort to devise early fusion compounding technology, building block for the eventual development of Nara. Damath praised the guild and the numerous opportunities that all citizens of Dunny now had to benefit their society. In 4843, at the age of 305, Damath passed away, leaving the throne to his firstborn son. Some argued that G didn't make the choice of Damath, but that Grand Master Emus of the Guild of Maintainers made it. The matter was never officially settled, although most contribute the choice to G. From Damath's speech explaining to the people the findings of the council meetings, by that time, the major guilds had become extremely expensive, and a large majority of the population, even if qualified to join the guilds, had no way to afford it. Taken from the private journals of Guildmaster Rashan of the Guild of Archivists. From Revealing the Unseen, written by Bisharin in 5999. Goshen, leader of the cult group Blood of Yavo, made the comment in a public speech. Comments were made by Damath at the public announcement of the fusion compounding technology. Okay. Finally, King Shomat. Shomat took the throne in the year 300 DE, Dunny era, at the age of 44. Up to the point of his coronation, he had been a member of the Guild of Writers. He continued his study of the art through private mentors for a number of years after his coronation. It was the lack of proper guild instruction that most Dunny historians attribute the distorted views Shomat later took on. It was an up-and-down reign, partly due to a tremendous tension that seemed to exist between himself and his older brothers. Both of the brothers, though they had little respect, did everything in their power to make Shomat's reign tumultuous. Okay. One of the first actions Shomat ordered was construction of a palace. When it was completed in 347 DE, Shomat moved in with his family, although his brothers refused and maintained their own homes. Such an act was regarded as a tremendous disrespect to a family and only served to widen the gap between Shomat and his brothers. Furthering tensions, not only within Shomat's family, but within the culture as well, just saying, was the lavishness of the palace. Ornate gardens were present inside the physical grounds, and garden ages were written as well, linking from within the palace. Rumors abound that some of these garden ages were even wiped of their inhabitants in order to provide Shomat with relaxation. Whether true or not, Shomat often spoke publicly of the need for ages to serve Dunny. This was a first for the society and a direct contradiction to what the guilds taught. The Dunny were to serve the ages. It seems that eventually the tension became too much. Some say it drove Shomat mad. In 387 DE, both his brothers disappeared and were never found again. was commonly presumed that Shamat wrote a death book to which both of his brothers were linked into, although it could never be proven. Regardless, it was one of the first major challenges for the people of Dani, and they reacted quickly. A prophetess was supplied to Shomat in 400 DE in an attempt to guide him in the ways of Yavo. For the 155 remaining years of his reign, it seems that most people believe Shomat became a better king. The prophetess became an excellent mentor for Shomat and eventually convinced him to choose the son of one of his close friends as the heir to the throne. His own children were admittedly out of control. As it turns out, it was the bloodline of that child that led to the birth of the great king years later. Shomat died of natural causes at the age of 299. Women were generally seen as much better communicators with Yavo than men. As a result, most prophets were women. The choosing of prophetesses as guides for the kings started with Shomat and became tradition for all the remaining kings of Dani. It was usually up to the king as to which prophet or prophetess he would seek for wisdom. So that's 3 books about the history of Dani and kings that reigned during a period. There's some things that may pertain to things moving forward with the expansions, but it all seems to be very lore related and not much else. We got ourselves a construction hat now. What else we got going on here? I do think I saw more books, and I'm scared of them. Very scared. I can't take a second hat. Oh my god, even more. Check this out. I know the DRC doesn't want us to touch these, but I bet Watson would like to know how these register with the doors, too. It makes no sense. And don't lose it. I could barely get it off the wall, and when I did, it was pretty scary. Maybe the weirdest thing is that when I went back later, the cloth I got this piece from was intact again. Nick. Okay. Oh my god. I've read as much as I can today. I'm sorry. Where the heck is my book? And why did someone take it in the first place? Nick. Ooh, new hat. Okay. This is from Dr. Watson. Matthew, the last batch of papers you sent were very interesting. Since you did such a good job, I've got another list I'd like you to divvy up to the team. How you do it is up to you. 1. I'd like some more information on family life, ceremonies, etc., anything related to birth, marriage, cultural events. I know we have quite a bit of source material for this, so anything you get would be helpful. I think we've gathered quite a bit on science and technology, and not enough on the personal lives of these people. 2. We have quite a bit of guild information, but gathering that all up into one tidy area would be nice. 3. The Fall is still an obvious area where we are lacking. I'm not sure I can help you with research material, but given the latest information we are getting, at some time we are going to have to dig into this. I recommend assigning someone the sole task of the Fall. 4. Continue on with the Kings. A short synopsis of all the Kings would be helpful, following the form you started with the last batch. 5. We still have religious writings we need to translate. These are going to be the most difficult, but I think they can give us large amounts of helpful information. 6. We have a stack of journals from various Dani residences, etc. not to mention ages. I think that will be more than enough for now. Again, thank your team and tell them they are doing great work, Dr. Watson. This is what hell looks like for me right now. Explains why it's all red light. Can I just jump out of here to my death? No, okay. I don't know what we're going to be doing here. It was annoying to summarize that really, really long book last time. And now we've got so many books. I read 3 of them. Should I come back to this and maybe just read a couple books each episode? Is this stuff that's going to be important to me solving anything? It just seems like lore. And not much else. Some allusions to some things that may be important. But I just don't know. And with them all being, like, all over the place, like, they're not in an order or anything. This is King Eilish. We heard about Eilish in the first book we read. Yes? Yeah. So that book would follow this one. So we're all over the place in, you know, keeping an order and a proper timeline. I just don't know what to do with this stuff. So tell me, just, am I reading it? Am I summarizing it? Am I just saying, screw you? The manhole! Cyan, yep. That's one of their early games. Marriage. Oh my god. Maturity. A couple pages of that. Pregnancy. And class structure. Then we come over here to these 2 books. Another one about a king. And oh, it's typed. Okay, that's short-ish. I mean, it's typed, so smaller font. Okay. Do you want to make a book or do you want to make a game? Apparently, they wanted to make books and games. That's why they made both. I think I'm trapped here. Hold on. Can't get around to those boxes. I don't think anything's hiding there. How about in here? Anything going on in here? Okay. Nothing here. Not seeing anything in there. We'll just remember this exists. And I'll probably come back and check out a couple of books, a couple of journals here and there. But my God, this is the worst thing you could have done. Now we get to go back to Relto, go back to the start of the age, get back to where we were, and touch a book. I'm not trying to be a jerk or anything. That last time with those really long journals, I just decided I wasn't going to do all of that reading. But I feel bad just like I'm not putting in the effort. That's why I tried to do the summary, because I figured, you know, that saves me from doing a whole lot of reading out loud during the video, while still kind of providing you with the information on what was in the book. I don't necessarily mind reading stuff out loud, I just don't want to do so much of it. Okay, hello, book. Okay, this is a place. Those are creatures. Okay. There. This is pretty-ish. Is that... That appears to be our journey door. We got some paintings. You know what? I will take a snappy snap of that. Don't necessarily think they're going to be important, but we'll add them to the collection. What the hell? Okay. This as well. That's probably about as good as I'm going to get that. Let's head back to this direction. See what there is to see. Would really like a journey cloth. There. Okay, good. Since I did so much reading, we are going for a little bit of a supersized episode here. I'm not quite ready to throw in the towel. My voice may feel a little differently at the moment. We'll see how long that holds out. This stuff is kind of really faded. There's a storm coming. It's getting darker. It's, oh my god, oh god. Okay, okay. Game. Okay. Okay, no chill. Oh, for crying out loud. I don't like it. I really don't like it. Everything is so unsettling. Whether deliberately or not, whether if it, like sometimes there's the glitches. I don't like it. I'm coming back here because I wanted to see if those creatures left, and they did not. Okay. Wait, the rain stopped. The sun coming back out. Okay. I just, like, panic ran. I just wanted to get away from it. I thought maybe there was going to be, like, an interior, but that was just a small tunnel. So that wasn't very helpful. Oh, okay. And you are a weird mushroom tree with little dangly things. And those noises sound spooky. Okay, those little insects flying around. There they are. Not sure if they're doing something or not. Like, maybe they're supposed to be gathering stuff from those? I don't know. Alright. Here's a dead end. One of those things. So maybe... I don't know if I've seen multiple of these in an age. I can't really remember now. I want to say I have. Well, that's weird. But now I'm second guessing myself, and I was wondering if this is like the marking of the Great Zero in these ages. You know, I was originally thinking of them as like these landing points for when you would link to an age. No journey cloth, huh? Just a tablet that I'm very scared to touch. Well, yeah, we'll touch it. And this is... appears to be Bevan again. As have most of those tablets they've taken us. This actually doesn't let me go anywhere. This looked like a path. I was fooled. I was bamboozled. Alright. Still don't know what the point of this is. Back to wherever the hell I was. Ah, we've got another book now. One's red, one's green. So this just brings us there. And this brings us there. Okay. Alright. Back at it. Hopefully the storms will stay away for a little bit. There's this in the center that I somehow didn't notice. Come over here. There's so much of this stuff, I think at this point, it's pointless for me to be taking pictures. I don't think it actually matters at all. Except maybe for lore. But better safe than sorry. And I'm just looking around the rock. And then there's more weird plants. Why are you... Why are you the only one that's moving? Oh god! Fuck off! What the f... I'm not happy right now. see something over there. I see this. I see it's another thing to read. But I saw something over here. You see that? Oh no. Shomat's story. Story of Shomat, taken from Book 43C. You've yet to name it. Translation Nick. The name Nick has come up before. And things that we were looking at previously in this episode, but also in those other journals that I summarized. Maybe we start the next episode with this. Okay? Okay? For now, let me just figure out what's going on. The fact that this goes from, like, sunny to storming... Trying to see if it actually has any impact on the world here. Was this always lit up? I think it might have been. I just wasn't as clear with the storm. But I could see there being some kind of puzzle of, you know, it alternating between sunny and rainy. These guys were still spewing their goodies while it was raining. I'm really trying to figure this out. No, that's too much. Let's say I jump on this and land on it. Now what? Now, what is my life? Do these provide enough oomph that I could... It's not like you can land on them. Yeah, like, climb them and... Let's see if we can time it or something. Trying to see if there is some sort of interactivity. That I could use to, like, get higher up. There's no way that I could get that timing. Is this... Oh, hold on. If I were to land on that, I wouldn't be able to get to that. No. Almost. Is this gonna work? Okay, that just sent me... This is not at all what I'm supposed to be doing. Look at that. It's right there. Oh, come on. Okay, we're doing this. There we go. Alright. It's another one of these. I still don't know what those are. But we got it. Which is, you know, how the Myst series is known for its platforming and collectathons. Hello, fishy. Excuse me. Yeah, that's too steep. All right. Not gonna go too much longer here. Just say the next journey cloth I find. Unless that's not as quick as I'm hoping it would be. Yeah, we got this, like, land bridge above our heads, but I'm not seeing a way that we would actually reach it. Got an invisible wall here. So I can't even end up in the water, let alone up on that edge. And we've got a book that's going to take us somewhere else. Alright. Yeah, so we'll forget about going until the next journey cloth. We'll just hang out here, because we will read this book that's above our heads. And then we will touch that book and see where it takes us. And I think that's about it for now. I'm not really sure about this age, you know? Started off with a neat puzzle with the... How many did we find so far? Okay, so we have 3 more to go. Started off with the pressure, the steam pressure thing, and getting to different areas, and then it just took us to the land of stupid journals, and then it took us here. And now this is going to take us to somewhere else. Another nice place, maybe back to... I see a red rock. Hopefully it doesn't just take me back to where I was. It took us back to where we were. So that's good. Better to sort that out now than to get our hopes up that I would be totally making progress. So we'll read that stupid book next time. Maybe I can have it in me to read another journal or something else. And think about what the hell this game wants from me now to make further progress. I've got 3 more journey cloths to find. And I have no idea where they would be hidden. That's 3. And considering where we have found journey cloths, I feel like I've been thorough in exploration. And they feel like they've been close enough together that I wouldn't have missed something. The only one was me feeling like one's got to be here somewhere. But Yeah, so I feel like maybe there's got to be another section that I've not found. But we'll see. I'll think about it. Maybe I will end up starting off with a universal hint system, touch of guidance or something like that. Who knows? For now, I'm just tired. I'm surrounded by books and reading, and it's so much. So I love ya, and I'll see you next time. Bye bye.